Trump has concealed details of his face-to-face encounters with Putin from senior officials in administration.
Here's a summary of the article.
President Trump has gone to extraordinary lengths to conceal details of his conversations with Russian President Vladimir Putin, including on at least one occasion taking possession of the notes of his own interpreter and instructing the linguist not to discuss what had transpired with other administration officials, current and former U.S. officials said. Former U.S. officials said that Trump's behavior is at odds with the known practices of previous presidents, who have relied on senior aides to witness meetings and take comprehensive notes then shared with other officials and departments. The meeting in Hamburg happened several months after The Washington Post and other news organizations revealed details about what Trump had told senior Russian officials during a meeting with Russian officials in the Oval Office. Senior Trump administration officials said that White House officials, including then National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, were never able to obtain a comprehensive account of the meeting, even from Tillerson. U.S. intelligence agencies have been reluctant to call attention to such reports during Trump's presidency because they have at times included comments by foreign officials disparaging the president or his advisors, including his son-in-law Jared Kushner, a former senior administration official said. The interpreter at Hamburg revealed the restrictions that Trump had imposed when he was approached by administration officials at the hotel where the U.S. delegation was staying, officials said. Hill, National Security Advisor John Bolton and other U.S. officials took part in a preliminary meeting that included Trump, Putin and other senior Russian officials.
This post received a score of 56,424, with an upvote ratio of 76%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
President Trump has gone to extraordinary lengths to conceal details of his conversations with Russian President Vladimir Putin, including on at least one occasion taking possession of the notes of his own interpreter and instructing the linguist not to discuss what had transpired with other administration officials, current and former U.S. officials said. As a result, U.S. officials said there is no detailed record, even in classified files, of Trump's face-to-face interactions with the Russian leader at 5 locations over the past 2 years. Such a gap would be unusual in any president.
Very legal, very cool.
Why haven't I bought this t-shirt yet?
The perfect name for a weed shop.
Make America legal again.
Marijuana always gets amazinger.
Is it wrong that, although I take a lot of satisfaction watching this administration crumble, I still don't feel like anything is actually going to happen? The headlines and the scandals all point to the obvious fact that this dude is a criminal. But I was certain that he would get kicked out in the first 6 months of his presidency, but he always seems to make it out with his base intact. The world is a weird place.
Watergate took much longer. They have just finished up a handful of related investigations and have not moved on to Trump yet. The older Republicans are also super pissed that Trump has destroyed the remaining integrity of their party and basically poisoned the country.
Whitewater also took much longer. I think the 24-hour news cycle and social media has warped our sense of time. You see many people say, if Mueller found something then it would be over by now. Which isn't true. I'm sure if you find one crime you follow the crumb trail connected to that crime, which leads you to multiple other crimes. And there are decades worth with the Trump crime family. Yeah, and they really only get one shot at it. The evidence must be overwhelming to get a Senate aligned with the president to even consider impeachment, so Mueller's not going to just say, look, they had a meeting to discuss campaign strategies, and the Russians agreed to hack the DNC's email server in order to sabotage the Clinton campaign, because that's going to go nowhere in the Senate right now. He has to make sure there are so many crimes and so much detailed collusion that the Republican senators know that if they don't impeach, they'll never win another election.
Definitely, and I would even go as far as to say that the CSI effect is taking hold here. In the same way that DNA tests and solving a murder takes way longer than people think, so does this investigation. And it's so much more complicated because you can't just have a murder weapon and a motive and have the case be a shoo-in.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.